Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, my YouTube channel. Or, if you're watching this on BitChute, Comic Freak. Today we're going to be talking about how SJWs have doxed that umbrella guy. A well-known Comicsgate YouTuber who has been trying to crowdfund his comic books while talking against SJW's being in the industry and ruining it. Lately, he's been under attack by SJWs both online as well as at his own house when some of them came to his house and took a baseball bat to his mailbox, destroying it. He has shown the pictures of it where the plastic mailbox had been bashed off of its stand and had been crumpled like it had been an old soda can. This just shows that the SJWs will stop at nothing and stoop to nothing to harm or shut up anyone who speaks out against them. Though, as of now, there is one SJW who might be responsible for this, but it could also be that his actions had led to it, him continuously attacking that umbrella guy, one Tim Doyle, whose tweets that he's basically tweeted out to that umbrella guy. If you yourselves were to go out to read them, you'd probably see them as basically being veiled threats or outright threats. Such tweets he's made have been, "Hey, Tug, that's a nice family you got there. It would be a shame if anything happened to them," which could not be anything more than a threat. Even though he didn't make any verbal threat to him himself, he was construing that someone would come along and do it. He's even gone on to say to the fans of that umbrella guy, saying, "To the Tug fans in my mentions, this is not a threat. This is an observation. This person used to chill to be a POS, now he's known, which exposes him. Will he change? I doubt it. He's not that smart." As you can see, he's taking no responsibility for the threats that anyone who reads his tweets could and who acts on them could be a real threat to that umbrella guy. If you're wondering about Tug, Tug is just an abbreviation of that umbrella guy, TUG. And as you can see with all of Tim Doyle's little tweets here, they more or less come out as "shut up or we will harm you." I myself will not harm you. None of my fans will obviously harm you, but there are those out there that will. And if some of them are my fans, well, that's a shame. That is pretty much what he's saying here. And he goes on to say that that umbrella guy is dumb and that he's not that smart and will only double down. Well, I hope that umbrella guy does double down and doesn't stop. Other people have come to that umbrella guy's defense. One, the Brandon the Mummy Fraser. Now, I'm not saying this is the actual Brandon Fraser. I'm saying this is a Twitter handle that some guy is using on Twitter. And he hilariously tweeted out saying, when he responded to "Hey Tug, nice family you got there," with Tim the Scumbag Doyle. He even added a picture. A funny picture, I must say. Presumably the guy in glasses is Tim Doyle, or it's something to that effect. He could just be just another Nick Beard. But it's kind of making fun of the SJWs in general, I'd say that. Though I have to say, I feel sorry for those animals in the picture. Yeah, they're sharing space with a noisy SJW. And if you know anything else about this will just cause more SJWs to cry foul like they always do. Like these women and men here in this photo who are screaming about something I don't know about, but presumably it's social justice or other retarded things like that. But don't think that that umbrella guy is the only one suffering. As he said, Tim Doyle tweeted out, "Hey Tug, that's a nice family you got there." And yes, that umbrella guy has at least a 5-year-old girl and maybe some other children. And thanks to Tim Doyle's actions, they probably are somewhat in jeopardy now. I'm not saying that he's responsible for it, but he's pretty much just tweeting out a bunch of things that could incite someone to try and hurt that Umbrella Guy's family. A cartoonist who is trying to make a comic book and is trying to get it out soon. I mean, come on here. We have a guy who sometimes people draw him, well, with what accounts basically a lollipop head. And now people want to attack him just because he speaks out against SJWs and all the nonsense currently in comic books and how it's destroying the industry. This is not good. And this is going to drive more people to help support him, and I hope they do. His book, a kind of science fiction horror story that's basically a kidified version of the Cthulhu mythos, is soon going to be released, and we'll talk about that more in a little while. Further news of what has happened to that Umbrella Guy. He recently made a live stream talking about how all of this stuff that's happening to him is even threatening his family. He has at least a 5-year-old girl and maybe a few other kids, and he's frightened to take them anywhere because he's worried what these SJWs will do to them. Now, he himself says he's 6'7", and he's been in a few scruffs and had a few fights. But he's worried about what these maniacs would do to his own kid. So he's worried about taking her to anything like a convention, even though his daughter loves comic books and loves comic book cards. He even showed a picture of her playing with one, or rather looking at one. And he went on to even have his daughter on the live stream, and she said on the day that the attack occurred on their mailbox, they were both in their backyard, and they heard a giant boom, and they ran off to see what happened and found their mailbox had been destroyed. And this girl was such a cute little girl, and she's so nice. It is a terrible shame. Not like this Tim Doyle's a real shame that this girl now possibly has to worry about being attacked by a bunch of lunatic SJWs and are probably driving her father nearly to drink. And this Tim Doyle, should be ashamed of himself. As well as every other SJW. This is not the kind of behavior we allow in America. This isn't like back in Germany with a bunch of Nazis goose-stepping. I mean, you're acting more like the Nazis than the Nazis probably have. Or whether any neo-Nazi is. I mean, you're literally having people attacked. Although you yourself haven't ordered anyone. Though your actions and you speaking out like some crazed lunatic has probably incited this. As well as every other SJW demagogue out there, like Remphamus and other SJWs, who just don't get through their head that we don't need this kind of behavior in America. Now, here we can see that Umbrella Guy's Indiegogo. It looks to have like great artwork, and it looks to be like a fun little story. Sort of light horror story that you'd see like on back in the 90s on Nickelodeon or Fox Kids. And these SJWs want to stop this because that Umbrella Guy is probably far more successful than they are. Including some SJWs who are working in the industry now, who have had their own crowdfunding campaigns and have not delivered. That Umbrella Guy himself even exposed one of them, showing that this guy has not worked on it in at least 5 years when it was supposed to be released back in 2014. This show of defiance caused the SJWs to continuously attack him, and even brought up the fact that he has an age difference with his wife, calling him a pedophile. Well, that's great. Heap even more harm upon this family. Now, I hope you go and subscribe to his channel, as well as give to his Indiegogo. I wanted to see this guy win. If you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed to me to YouTube, on Read Comics They're Bad For You, or at BitChute, Comic Freak, please subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And remember, keep checking back in future videos so you can learn more about my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.